it's Pam with Organizer AZ 911, and this is day 18 of my Gold Month series of organizing video tips. And in today's tip, we're going to continue on with the kitchen theme. And I want to talk about taming those terrible, troublesome Tupperware containers. The trouble with Tupperware is that they tend to get out of control very easily. And, you know, let's face it, we all end up with about 20 lids or so and only 2 of these containers left, and we don't know what happened to them. It's kind of like the mismatched sock. You know, you throw socks in the dryer and when they come out, one's missing. Same thing happens with our Tupperware all the time. So what I want to talk about is trying to help you corral these in a way that'll make it a little more organized. And so when you're going to organize your Tupperware, the first thing you need to do is to gather up every single piece of Tupperware you own. Make sure you get anything that's been washed in the dishwasher, get that out. Gather them all up, go search through old lunch boxes, because there's certainly one left there that hasn't made it to the washer. But just make sure you collect them all. And then make sure you have a lid for every container, bottom part, that you have. And any of them that are mismatched at the end of all your collecting, those are the ones that need to part ways with you. And you need to get rid of them and let them go. Okay, they need to go to Tupperware land. So only keep the ones that you have a complete set. No more holding on to the ones without, okay? Then the next thing is, how do you go about storing them? Well, first of all, if you're using them quite often, try to store them, like I said yesterday, in your prime real estate, somewhere where it's easy to get to. This will make a huge difference when you're like unstacking the dishwasher. One of the biggest nightmares is having to put something away that's really hard to get to. So if you're using it often, put it in a prime location. If you're not using them as often, then you can you know, put it in a little higher shelf or lower shelf. So you got them all, you made sure everything has a lid. Now what do? Well, it kind of depends on your personality. You can take and keep all the lids separate and all the bottoms separate. And you can put the lids in a little bin like this or any type of square container, and then put like all the rectangular square ones in one, and then in another bin put all your circular ones, those you can go that way. But you have to be very diligent in that. You can't, oftentimes when people set up something like that, these little bins will end up overflowing with square, circle, every other thing imaginable. And when you go to look for that exact size lid, everyone's pulling them out and they're all over the place and it can be a mess. So if you go to do this, you just have to be very diligent about keeping the square ones with the square ones and the circle ones with the circle, and you have to keep them nice, okay? Otherwise you're in a big mess just like before. Then you can, that's one option you can do. Another option is one that I do, because I'm one of those people who, when you get a system like this, I'm just throwing them all in there. I literally just keep the lids right under the ones they belong to as I'm putting them away. Even like with this, these are usually in there, just so they're all together and I can grab them in one location. That happens to work for me, but you have to stay true to who you are. You can also use those media racks with the vertical slots, and you can, you know, just set these things in there and stack them nice if you have the room. I personally don't have a lot of room on my cupboard space, so I couldn't do that in mine. Okay, so that's my takeaway with this tip. Gather all your Tupperware up in one location, match up the lids to the bottoms. Anyone that doesn't have a lid or a bottom, that gets tossed. Then decide on how you want to store it. Do you want to store all the lids in separate containers, little bins, or do you want to store the lids directly underneath? It depends on your personality and what you're willing to do, okay? And that should help corral your Tupperware and keep them under control. I hope this tip helped. If it did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this YouTube channel. And you can also like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter for more organizing tips and suggestions. I'm Pam with Organizer AZ 911. Thanks for watching.